My beloved child, in this very moment, let your heart become still like a quiet lake beneath the morning light. For I do not come to make you more afraid, but to lift you out of the heavy thoughts that have silently covered you for so long. There are things happening within your body that trouble you. There are sensations that come and go like a passing breeze you cannot grasp. There are nights when you lie still. Yet within you it feels as though countless nameless sounds are echoing. You wonder whether these are signs of weakness, whether your strength is slowly fading, whether these hidden things are warnings of something dreadful to come. But I, the one who knew you before your first cry, speak to you now. Do not be quick to define yourself through fear. What you are going through is not always a collapse. Sometimes it is the sound of a deep work shifting within you, a work your eyes have not yet fully seen. I know you have tried to search for answers in human understanding. You have listened to explanations, faced assumptions, gathered pieces of reasoning in order to calm yourself. At times those things have helped you feel lighter. Yet, at other times, they have only left you more confused, because within you there remains a space that human words cannot fill. I do not tell you to reject useful wisdom, for all righteous understanding can become a vessel that serves life. But I want you to remember that you are not merely a machine to be measured by numbers, nor are you a collection of symptoms and judgments. You are a work I formed in love, sustained by the breath I gave, covered by mercy that never runs dry. Therefore, when you look at the signs within you, look with eyes of hope, not with the gaze of someone who has already pronounced judgment over their own future. From the beginning, I placed within you a beauty deeper than what you can recognize. Every heartbeat, every breath, every quiet movement within your body is not meaningless chance. They are the rhythms of life, the evidence that I am still preserving you in every small moment. You have seen yourself as fragile, felt your strength draining like a lamp nearly out of oil, and thought that years, wounds, and pressure had taken too much from you. But behold, my child, a lamp tended by, my hand will not be extinguished simply because a strong wind blows against it. A field once cracked by dryness can become green again when the rain of grace falls upon it. What you call weariness, I can turn into the beginning of restoration. What you call weakness, I can use as the foundation upon which new strength is revealed. Remember Naaman, the commander who carried an appearance of power while hiding a pain no one else could bear for him. He had reputation, victories, and status before people. Yet the disease in his body made him realize that power cannot heal everything. You see, sometimes I lead you into humility, not to strip you of dignity, but to teach you to stop leaning on walls that are not strong enough to hold you. Naaman had to step down into ordinary waters, obey something that seemed simple, and lay aside his pride in order to receive a miracle. And when he humbled himself in obedience, renewal came to him in a way he had not imagined. You too must know that some of the restoration I have prepared for you will not arrive with thunder from the heavens, but through small steps of trust, through days when you dare to remain at peace, through every moment you lay your anxiety before me and allow me to lead you through. Therefore, do not see every slight trembling, every sharp sensation, every moment of unrest or fatigue as your enemy alone. Learn to listen to them with wisdom, but do not let them rule your heart. Some signals remind you to rest more, to care for yourself more gently, to slow down, to release the burdens you have carried for too long. Some things I use to draw you away from the hurried pace of life, away from the habit of treating yourself as someone who must endure endlessly without being held. You often care for others and try to remain strong so that no one sees your need for comfort. But I see everything. I see the times you smile while your heart is weary. I see you quietly enduring, quietly wondering whether anyone understands what you are passing through. I am there, closer than your breath, gentler than a mother's hand upon the forehead of a fevered child, more faithful than the dawn, returning after a long night. I want you to understand that restoration is not only the disappearance of pain, fatigue, or worry. Restoration is also when you learn again how to trust life, how to love yourself in purity, how to be grateful for the body that has carried you through many difficult seasons. Do not curse the place that has been weak. Do not hate the part that has been wounded. Do not look at your limitations as proof that you have been abandoned. Instead, let every limitation remind you that you need to lean upon me. When you learn to pause, you will hear my voice more clearly. When you learn to rest, you will realize that grace is not a reward reserved for the exhausted, but a stream for those who know how to draw near. You may not see a great change today, but a seed does not split open under the hurried gaze of man. It lies quietly beneath the soil, enduring darkness and pressure, until one day it rises with a life no one can stop. The work I am doing within you is the same. I can touch the deepest places, where memories have left tension behind, where anxiety has made your breath shallow, where old disappointments have caused you to expect the worst. I do not merely want you to be soothed for a moment. I want you to be rebuilt into lasting peace, so that each day when you awaken, you no longer ask when you will fall apart, but whisper within yourself that you are still being held in the hands of the faithful one. So step into the new day with a different spirit. Care for your body as you would tend a garden I have entrusted to you. Give it rest. Give it freshness. Speak gentle words over it instead of words of condemnation. Pray not from panic, but from trust. Seek the help you need when it is needed, but do not place the throne of fear inside your heart. I can use many paths to bring restoration, rest, people with knowledge, changed habits, words of encouragement, and quiet moments you may think are ordinary. Nothing is too small for me to touch, and no hidden weariness is too secret for me to know. My beloved child, remember that I do not despise your trembling. I do not rebuke you for being anxious. I do not turn my face away when you are tender and weak. I draw near precisely in the hours when you feel least worthy of love. Let your heart open like a door, receiving light. Let hope return, not loudly, but surely. I am teaching you to distinguish between a warning that calls for wisdom and a fear that wants to imprison you. I am leading you out of an old way of seeing, so that you no longer view yourself as a crumbling house, but as a temple being cleansed, strengthened, illuminated, and prepared for days that will be more fruitful, more peaceful, and more deeply meaningful. My beloved child, be still in my presence and let these words sink into the deepest places within you. For I do not speak to you like a distant echo, but like a father bending close beside you, placing his hand upon your shoulder and calling you by name. This moment is not an accident passing among countless days. It is an appointed meeting I have preserved in the flow of your life, a moment I have chosen to awaken discernment, wisdom, and courage within you. I know you are tired of having to discern so many things by yourself. I know there are nights when you lie down, yet your heart does not rest, because questions quietly return like waves upon the shore. You wonder why, though you tried to live sincerely, you still encountered coldness. Why, though you treated others with generosity, you received crookedness in return. Why those who once stood near you could at times become so unfamiliar. Behold, my child, I saw it all before you could even name your pain. Do not think your weariness proves that you are weak. There are burdens that can make even a strong person falter, not because they lack faith, but because they have carried for too long what I never asked them to carry alone. You have grown used to comforting yourself, telling yourself everything will be fine, overlooking small signs because you did not want your heart to become suspicious. I know your heart does not like accusing anyone. You always want to see the good in others, to believe that a smile is genuine, that a kind question is pure, that closeness is sincere. But kindness does not mean you must close your eyes to what is distorted. Compassion does not mean you must allow yourself to be led into danger without protection. I am teaching you a holy wisdom, to love without being blind, to forgive without being naive, to remain gentle without letting darkness exploit your goodness. There are glances you once noticed and quickly forgot, yet something inside you trembled softly. There are words that seemed accidental, yet afterward left a coldness in you that was hard to explain. There are silences in the middle of a crowd that made you realize you were no longer being held in the same transparency as before. You blamed yourself for thinking too much, tried to defend others in your mind, and forced yourself into silence to preserve peace. But I speak to you now. Not every deep perception is imagination. Sometimes I place sensitivity within you so you can recognize what ordinary eyes have not yet clearly seen. Do not despise that small inner warning. Do not quickly extinguish discernment just because you fear being called overly sensitive. When I stir something within you, it is because I am leading you away from a trap before it closes. You must understand that not everyone who stands close to you truly rejoices when you step into the light. Some may applaud while you remain behind, yet become uneasy when you begin to move forward. Some liked you when you still doubted yourself, but became uncomfortable when you learned to stand upright in the dignity I gave you. Some were accustomed to seeing you bow your head, yield, and remain silent. So when you begin to live with clarity, they feel their position being touched. But, my child, do not let another person's envy make you ashamed of the light I placed within you. A fruitful tree is often struck by stones. A shining lamp attracts both eyes seeking direction and hands that want to put it out. This does not mean you must be afraid. It means you must walk with vigilance. Remember Daniel, who lived within a royal court full of power, where compliments could hide schemes, and position could awaken jealousy in human hearts. He did not seek to harm anyone, did not compete through deception, and did not use darkness to defend himself. Yet because of his faithfulness and the excellent spirit within him, others secretly plotted to find a reason to accuse him. They knew they could not defeat him through unrighteousness, so they tried to turn his devotion into a trap. You see, the upright are not always loved by the world. Sometimes their very purity makes others uncomfortable. But when Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, I did not allow him to be devoured. I shut the mouths of the beasts, not because the scheme was unreal, but because my power was greater than every scheme. That story is placed before you, so you will remember that I do not promise you will never be discussed behind your back. But I promise that no plan can rise beyond my sovereignty. So do not panic when you realize you are being misunderstood, judged, or placed into conversations where you are not present to defend yourself. I was there. When your name was spoken in an unfair tone, I heard it. When the story about you was twisted to serve someone else's intention, I knew. When an outward smile hid inward rivalry, I saw through it. Nothing is hidden from my eyes. But I do not want you to answer darkness with darkness. Nor do I want you to lower your dignity by fighting every noise. I want you to stand firm in the light. Keep your heart clean. Keep your words upright. And allow me to teach you when to be silent, when to speak, when to leave, and when to wait patiently for me to reveal the truth. There are times when my protection does not come by making everyone love you again, but by letting you see who should no longer walk too deeply into your life. You prayed that I would guard you from pain. Yet when I began to reveal hearts, you hurt because you did not want to believe it was true. My child, exposure does not come to make you bitter, but to free you from confusion. Not everyone who leaves your life is a loss. Not every closed door is a punishment. Some connections are loosened because I am protecting you from something that would drain you more deeply later. Let me prune the circle around you. Let me teach you to choose peace over approval. Let me bring you to people with pure hearts. People who are not afraid of your light. People who can walk with you without secretly pulling you down. I know you may feel lonely when you begin to see the truth clearly. Discernment can sometimes make it harder to blend into old laughter, to trust promises without foundation, or to sit at tables where hearts are not transparent. But my child, do not fear the distance I am creating. A timely distance can save you from a deeper wound. A season of separation can prepare you for true support. When I draw you away from the noisy crowd, I am not abandoning you. I am bringing you into a place where you can hear my voice more clearly. There you will learn again how to trust my guidance. No longer governed by the eyes of others. No longer bound by the need to be understood by everyone immediately. Guard your heart from bitterness. For bitterness is a subtle chain that keeps the wounded imprisoned even after the door has opened. You do not need to curse anyone in order to be free. You do not need revenge to prove you are right. You do not need to tell everything to everyone just to reclaim your image. I am your defender in places you cannot enter. I am the one who shines light upon the truth at the right time. Your part is to live uprightly. Walk wisely. Pray that your heart will not be stained. And learn not to hand the keys of your life to those who only use them to open doors into pain. From today onward, pay closer attention, but do not live in suspicion. Be more watchful, but do not let fear take command. Observe whether words align with actions. Allow time to test sincerity, and listen to the peace I place within you. When something comes from me, it may correct you, but it will not crush you. It may humble you, but it will not strip you of dignity. It may lead you through trial, but it will not push you into hopeless chaos. But whatever carries the breath of envy, manipulation, and concealment will eventually leave traces. You do not need to rush to judge. Simply stay close to me, and you will recognize what should be kept, what should be released, whom you should love from a distance, and which path you must leave before the night grows darker. My beloved child, those who oppose you are not the measure of your worth. Gossip cannot erase what I have placed within you. Hidden plans cannot cancel the good purpose I have prepared for you. The seed of glory within you was not planted to die in fear, but to grow through adversity and testify that my hand still holds all things. Lift your head, but do not become proud. Walk carefully, but do not shrink back. Love, but do not surrender yourself to falsehood. I am opening your eyes not so you will fear people, but so you will rely on me more deeply. And when you pass through this season with a clean heart, a clear mind, and enduring faith, you will look back and understand that I did not merely warn you, I saved you, taught you, preserved you, and prepared you for a spacious place where the light within you no longer has to ask darkness for permission to shine. I know you have often moved through life in haste. You wake with tasks to complete, worries to carry, responsibilities to bear, and the day passes like a rushing river until you forget that I am still present in every small rhythm of your life. You look at the clock more than the sky, hear the noise around you more than the gentle prompting within, and focus on the final result more than on the fingerprints I place upon the journey. But my child, meaning is not found only at the destination. Grace is also on the road. Care is also found in the pauses. In a brief encounter, a kind glance, an unexpected change. I can send you a reminder that you are not abandoned in this vast life. No moment is truly empty when it rests in my hand. Remember Abraham's servant when he was sent to find a wife for Isaac. He did not rely on his own wisdom to choose according to his preference, nor did he view the journey merely as a task to complete. He stopped by the well at the hour when the young women came out to draw water, prayed for guidance, and waited to see how I would reveal my will. Then Rebekah appeared, not through thunder, not through fire from heaven, but through a very simple act. She drew water, showed hospitality, and did kindness in an ordinary moment. There at the well, amid the dust of the road and the water jar, a part of a great plan was opened. Do you see? The sacred does not always wear extraordinary garments. Sometimes it comes clothed in kindness, timing, willingness, and an encounter that seems entirely natural. Therefore, I want you to learn how to see again. Do not look at life only with eyes wearied by calculation. Look with trust, believing that I can use even the smallest things to guide you. A stranger's smile may be the way I soften a hardened day. An unexpected question may be the way I remind you that you are still remembered. A closed door may be the way I keep you from a path that would exhaust you. A delayed plan may be protection hidden beneath inconvenience. You have often become frustrated because things did not unfold according to your desired rhythm. Yet, I, the one who sees what you have not yet seen, I'm still arranging every small thread to weave a garment suited for the season ahead of you. Do not despise slowing down. My beloved child, the world often praises speed, praises those who are always running, always achieving, always moving ahead. But I do not measure your worth by your busyness. There are times when the faster you run, the farther you drift from the peace I want to give you. There are times when the harder you try to hold on, the less you realize that I have placed the answer right beside you in a very simple form. Practice pausing before reacting. Practice silence before concluding. Practice gratitude before complaining. As you do this, your heart will gradually become clearer, and in that clarity, you will recognize the gentle signs you once overlooked. I do not require you to understand everything immediately. I know you are, my child, sometimes strong, sometimes tender, sometimes full of hope, sometimes weighed down by nameless concerns. But I want you to believe that I am present even on the days when you feel nothing special. When there is no sign in the sky, I am still there. When the road appears ordinary, I am still leading you. When everything seems to repeat yesterday, my grace is still new upon you. Do not wait for life to become extraordinary before believing I am near. Ordinary life is often where I place the deepest lessons: patience in waiting, gratitude in small things, gentleness when interrupted, and trust when everything is not yet clear. Perhaps today you will encounter something that does not go your way. A schedule may change. Someone may arrive late. A door may not open. A message may go unanswered. Or a word may make you think deeply. Do not be quick to call all of it a disturbance. Ask me with a calm heart, Father, what do you want to teach me through this? When you ask this way, you will no longer be someone merely carried along by circumstances, but someone who knows how to walk under guidance. Sometimes I am teaching you patience. Sometimes I am protecting you from haste. Sometimes I am giving you an opportunity to sow a kind word into someone who is silently weary. Sometimes I use the very thing you dislike to break an old habit and open within you a more humble way of living. I know every wound you have hidden behind a smile. I know the times you were silent not because you had nothing to say, but because you were too tired to explain your heart to those who were not truly listening. I know the seasons when you tried to appear strong while within you felt like cracked earth longing for rain. You once wondered why you had to pass through such things, why you tried to live uprightly and still met thorny paths, why every fall hurt so deeply that you thought you could not rise again. My child, I do not call evil good, nor do I take your tears lightly. But I am the one who can take the broken pieces you thought were useless and form a new beauty deeper, stronger, and brighter than you imagined. What once cracked you will not forever remain a sign of loss in my hands. It can become precious lines of grace, like a vessel restored with light, so that whoever looks upon it sees not only the cracks, but also the mercy that joined together what seemed shattered beyond repair. So do not despise your failures. Some missteps taught you humility. Some falls helped you realize you cannot carry the whole sky by yourself. Some closed doors saved you from a room that was not meant for you. Some rejections placed you on another path, painful at first, yet later leading you into a broader land. You once thought delay was proof that I had forgotten you, but often that very delay was my way of preparing your heart, arranging the circumstances around you, and ripening what you were not yet ready to receive. A seed forced to grow before its season may wither beneath harsh sunlight, but when it lies still long enough beneath the soil, its roots go deep, its stem becomes strong, and when it finally rises, it is no longer a fragile burst of life, but life prepared in secret. Remember Joseph, who was given bright dreams, yet walked a road full of tears. He was misunderstood, sold away, brought low, and imprisoned in circumstances that seemed hopeless. Through human eyes, every turn in his life looked like the breaking of the promise. But I did not lose him in the pit, did not forget him in a foreign land, did not abandon him in prison. I used the very places that looked like endings to shape wisdom, patience, and a heart wide enough to sustain many people in a time of famine. At the appointed time, what had been buried was lifted up. The one who had been overlooked was placed where he was needed, and the years of sorrow no longer stood as proof of failure, but became the road leading to great deliverance. My child, I remind you of this, not so you will merely admire an ancient story, but so you will understand that I can still lead you through confusing turns without losing the good purpose I have for you. There are things you are going through today that cannot yet be explained in words. You feel delayed, redirected, stopped in places where you do not want to remain. You ask for a straight road but find winding paths. You long for a clear answer, yet you are invited to take a few more steps in trust. I know this is not easy. I know there are moments when you want to see the entire map before daring to move forward. But my beloved child, if you saw everything, you would no longer learn dependence. If you controlled every detail, you would not recognize my gentleness in the moments when you are powerless. I do not lead you by letting you know all of tomorrow, but by being with you today. I do not always give you a thunderous answer, but I give enough light for the next step, enough peace for the present breath, and enough grace for the burden of this day. From now on, when fear knocks at the door, do not quickly open your heart and invite it to sit upon the throne of your thoughts. Recognize it, but do not bow to it. Tell it that you have a Father who goes before you, a keeper behind you, and love surrounding you on every side. Fear often enlarges the darkness and shrinks the promise. It makes you see a wound as a sentence, a failure as an ending, and a delay as abandonment. But faith will teach you to see differently. A wound is a place I can heal. Failure is a place where you can learn to rise. And delay is a place where preparation is quietly taking place. You do not need to deny that you have been hurt, nor pretend that you are not worried. What I desire is that you place every concern into my hands, so that the hand that formed the dawn may also lift you out of the long night. Lift your head, my beloved child, not because you have never fallen, but because I did not allow that fall to bury you. Walk forward, not because you are certain everything will be easy, but because you know you do not walk alone. Hope, not because your circumstances are perfect, but because I am still working even when you see no sign. There are seasons when I build beneath before I reveal above. There are things I do in secret before allowing them to bloom before your eyes. There are people I am arranging, doors I am preparing, lessons I am completing, so that when you step into the new season, you will not only have what you prayed for, but also a heart mature enough to keep it with humility. You are not someone defined by loss. You are not someone forever chained to the voices that once wounded you. You are not someone who must live cautiously, withdrawn, always waiting for something bad to happen. I am opening a new sky within you, where you learn to breathe more deeply, trust more firmly, love more purely, and walk more steadily. What once frightened you will no longer rule you as it did before, because you will realize that even in the dark valley, I can place a path beneath your feet, even in days that seem directionless. I can use a detour to bring you to the right place. Even when others look at you and think you have slowed down, I am making your roots deeper, your foundation stronger, and the light within you more gentle and enduring. Therefore, place your future into my hands once again. Do not hold it with the trembling fingers of anxiety. Do not measure it by what you have lost. Do not draw conclusions about tomorrow based on yesterday's tears. I am the one who goes before you, not as a stranger pointing the way from afar, but as a father who steps onto the road ahead of you, clearing what must be cleared, shielding what must be protected, and calling you to follow with a voice full of love. When you are weak, I lift you. When you are weary, I sustain you. When you are confused, I give light. When you think you have reached the end, I open a turn you have never seen. And one day, you will look back at the wounds, the failures, the detours, and the delays that once made you weep. And you will understand that I wasted nothing. All of it, in my hands, can become material for restoration, steps toward maturity, and radiant testimony that you have been loved, preserved, guided, and prepared for a wider place in my light.